It's time for some people to stop victim blaming a teenage Aaliyah. Welcome back to my channel. Today I have a very spontaneous topic, reactionary topic. This just happened a couple of hours ago, and it's something I keep seeing ongoing. I made a video about this like a year ago when the whole Survivor and R.Kelly documentary came out. I'm gonna leave it up here. But what happened today, I'm like, yeah, let me dig a little deeper into this. And I'm pretty sure y'all gonna agree with me. Earlier today, right, I seen Aaliyah was trending on Twitter. #1 trend on Twitter. And I'm like, wait, okay. So then I click into it to see like what are people talking about, to see why she's trending at #1 on Twitter. People were discussing about Aaliyah being a victim to predators and how people didn't really take her for her age and how she was so young and so many men and predators were after her, and Aaliyah didn't really have no adults looking after her, her parents included. And I was like, you know what? The video on Aaliyah's parents is coming. Stay tuned on that. Stay tuned on that. It's not going to be a bashful video, but that's another thing that needs to be discussed. But people were discussing how a lot of older men were preying on Aaliyah and all that type of stuff, right? And I got that. All right. I mean, like, how many times we're going to have this conversation? But then the thing that really got me is the victim blaming, the victim shaming, right? Fast and everything. And oh, I didn't know Aaliyah was fast. When are we going to admit Aaliyah was fast? And what I'm like, this is an ongoing problem within many communities, but I noticed especially the black community, where especially when it comes to black women and black girls, young black girls, where people have this stereotype of them being too grown and fast and, oh yeah, you know. Aaliyah was 14, 15. She was 12 when she was first introduced to R.Kelly by her uncle, Barry Hankinson. I made another video about that. And to be honest, this is, you know, it's a different perspective when you're a fan, and even if you're not a fan, you can see Aaliyah was the victim here, right? And all Aaliyah wanted to do was make her music and go. All she wanted to do was make her music and go, right? You know, she had these dreams since she was a little girl. She always said it. You watch any interview, Aaliyah said all she wanted to do was make some dope music and go about her business, go about her career. But we all know what happened with the whole illegal marriage certificate and this and that, and then R.Kelly. And then another thing people brought up is another thing, because I seen Timberland was trending too, and I said, wait, what's going on? This was an old interview, but it's another thing where Timberland was saying how when he first met Aaliyah, he fell in love with her. Now, mind you, Aaliyah was 16 at this time, 16, 17 at this time. Timberland was a grown man. He was in his 20s when they did One in a Million. He first met Aaliyah, he fell in love with her, and oh, he couldn't take his eyes off of her, and he had to hide his love for her because basically he knew Aaliyah was too young for him. So he had to just remain like her brother, you know, her collaborative partner, her brother, because he knew she was too young for him. Even to the point where years later, he even, as he said, he married his wife who resembled Aaliyah. You know, you're not even talking about Timberland being in love with her, but just the whole, they were friends. They were, you know, music partners making music, you know? So, of course, Timberland's never going to forget about Aaliyah, but the whole thing with, oh, he married his wife that resembled her. And basically, because of that, people were saying how all the men in her life were predators towards her. She was so young, and she had all these predators after her. And, you know, here's the thing, right? We all know Aaliyah was gorgeous, Aaliyah was pretty, Aaliyah was beautiful. She had a nice, dope spirit. She had an infectious personality. And everybody who says anything about Aaliyah always says how sweet, kind, and gentle, how humble, how down to earth she was. So, of course, you know, she's going to have, you know, guys her age and even older crushing after her. But that was a problem. You know, 7, 8, Aaliyah was still a teenager in the 90s. Especially her first 2 albums, and she had all these men after her in a way of like a crush, but you know, they had to suppress it because it was like a, what can I say? They know that it was wrong. And I remember even there was a thing with Genuine. Genuine was saying how, he had a crush on her, but he was a little older than her and they just remained friends. My thing is, getting back to the victim blaming, where you just had all these, I seen men and women, black men and black women, coming out the woodwork saying, oh, y'all know she was fast. Oh, y'all know she was fast. When they're going to admit she was fast. It's really sickening to me how people are so quick to like victim blame, victim shame. Like Aaliyah, like I said before, in those situations where, R.Kelly and even with Timbaland, and that wasn't even a big thing. But if Timbaland would have never revealed that in the interview, nobody would have known. But the whole thing with R.Kelly and all that, and then people, even later on with Jay-Z and Dame Dash, and Aaliyah was older, she was of age at that time, but still, you can't, Aaliyah, to me, and maybe y'all will agree with me, all Aaliyah wanted to do was make her music and go. Make her movies and go. Like that's all she wanted to do. But along came, all these other situations, and in a way it was out of her control. And then you could say like, who had her best interest, who was looking after her, and why was this allowed to happen? Why was that allowed to happen? Like I said, I'm gonna make another video about that. But it's just like, at the end of the day, you can't blame Aaliyah for that. So calling her fast and saying, oh, she was passed around and all that, that's a major problem. And all of this happened 25 plus years ago. But people are still so quick to, oh, I know she was fast. Oh, she was a pass around. The only thing pass around about Aaliyah was her CDs that went multi-platinum and gold. Back off of a video I did previously with one of my friends and a fellow Aaliyah fan and record producer, Mikkel Jr. I'm gonna leave it up here for y'all. We were just really talking about how, in a way, I only said victim blaming, victim shaming because it relates in the sense of the conversation. But I don't even like to look at Aaliyah as a victim because she overcame that. In our video, how when all that happened, the controversy, Aaliyah was 14, 15, young, in high school, going through puberty, all this different stuff. You know what I'm saying? Almost blackballed out the industry. No producers really wanted to work with her, right? But what happened? She did even better on her next projects. She was more successful on her next projects. She exceeded expectations and limitations on her next projects. She overcame that. If you look at my thumbnail, you see I put a picture of Aaliyah holding her VMA. That's what we need to be talking about. Her accomplishments, what she achieved. You know what I'm saying? Like at that time, that picture is symbolic because she was filming a movie overseas. She flew 22 hours to the VMAs, just appreciation of the nomination, won 2 VMAs against 2 pop juggernauts, Britney Spears and Christina Aguilera at that time, for a single from her movie, that was also another big movie, Romeo Must Die, for the song Try Again, which got nominated for a Grammy, broke airplay records, went #1 based off of airplay. Come on, like we need to be talking about Aaliyah's accomplishments. Aaliyah's legacy is bigger than surviving R.Kelly. Like I said in my other video, Aaliyah's legacy is bigger than the controversy. Aaliyah's legacy is bigger than the illegal marriage certificate. Aaliyah's legacy is bigger than being victim blamed and being victim shamed. You know what I'm saying? It's been 25 years. Aaliyah moved on past that. Why can't people move on past that? It's time for us. I know we talk about this, I'm talking about this now, but this is going to be my last video on this. It's time for us as a community and as, it's time for us to move on past that. Aaliyah moved on past that. She progressed in her career. I could see if AJ Nothing But a Number was her only album she ever released. But all the music, all the projects, all the songs, all the singles, all the soundtrack singles, and everything that Aaliyah did after AJ Nothing But a Number, it's time for us to really stop talking about negative and controversial things that happen. R. Kelly is where he's at now, and it is what it is. Timbaland and Jay-Z and Dame Dash, they're where they are now, and it is what it is. But my thing is, it's time for some people to really stop victim blaming Aaliyah. Because to be honest, you can see it in that way, but Aaliyah wasn't a victim. She was strong. Strength Aaliyah had to overcome that and to be more successful in her next projects and her next endeavors, that's what we need to be talking about. We need to be talking about celebrating her legacy, celebrating her accomplishments, and really uplifting her, celebrating her. Not talking about how fast she was and, oh, y'all know how it was. Oh, y'all know. No, no, no. We need to be really celebrating Aaliyah's legacy. You know, her legacy is more than a controversial topic. You know, it's more than gossip and, oh, you know, people have their own insecurities, so they want to, you know, reflect them on Aaliyah. Like, oh, y'all know how it was. Y'all know she was fast. Oh, she wasn't innocent. Like I think. Oh. Now, like I said before, we don't know what happened behind closed doors. We don't have the full scope of what happened. But what we do know happened is Aaliyah overcame all of that. She was more successful, and she made a name. She made a legacy. She made a brand for herself. Even 20 years after death, Aaliyah is still prominent, relevant, a legend, an icon. In her 7 years in the industry, her 22 years of life, look what Aaliyah was able to accomplish in her music career, her entertainment career. She has so much more to do. Unfortunately, she really didn't get a chance to finish it. But that's why I feel like it's up to us, the real Aaliyah fans, and people with common sense, to not even feed into it, the negative, controversial topics. Because I'm like, for this to be trending at #1 on Twitter, like, come on. Like, in a nutshell, Aaliyah's legacy is bigger than all of that. And it's time we celebrate that. I know most of us have been. Like, I know my channel is all about celebrating Aaliyah's legacy. But I'm talking about in a general scope, a general aspect. It's time that, you know, we can have discussions about that and stuff, because, you know, that's always going to come up. But it's time that we really celebrate Aaliyah for her accomplishments, her achievements, and not the controversies. You know? So anyways, guys, that was just my take on this whole, you know, Aaliyah victim shaming, victim blaming, and the whole controversy, and, you know, how everybody's so quick to give an opinion and blame Aaliyah for this. But at the end of the day, now, Aaliyah's legacy is bigger than all of that. It's not like Age Ain't Nothing But a Number was her only album. She had so much more music, so much more success after that, but people still keep harping on that, right? And it's time for us to move on and celebrate her accomplishments, her dope music, you know, what she was able to achieve in this harsh industry. And that's what I tend on doing. That's what I plan on doing. And I hope y'all do the same, like I know some of y'all are. So anyways, guys, let me know what y'all think about this down below. And let's really get this discussion going, because, like I said, after this, it's going to be my last time addressing it. But to see it trending #1 on Twitter, I was like, no. This is still a topic that's really, it needs to be discussed. But this is going to be my last time really doing a whole video about it. So anyways, guys, let me know what y'all think. After this, I'm really going to push more of the initiative to celebrate Aaliyah's legacy and celebrate her accomplishments, her achievements, and how dope of an entertainer, person, and artist she was, you know? And I'm hoping we all do the same. So anyways, guys, please don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Thank you for watching and listening. I'll see y'all in the next video.